Good morning, everybody. I hope this video finds you all healthy and safe this morning. We're going to start out with the core practice like we always do. So find a comfortable spot to sit, relax your body, close your eyes, and take deep breaths. Okay, very good. So today I am grateful for the people I got to chat with yesterday at our lunch. It was so nice to see your faces and to talk to you. I know it's not the ideal scenario for us to be meeting. I'd much rather us be face to face and in our classroom, but it was certainly really nice to be able to catch up with a few of you. And I'm looking forward to doing it again tomorrow with some more of you. And if you haven't signed up yet, have your mom or dad go to the Google Doc and sign you up to have lunch with me online. Um, and we can catch up and see each other. It was very nice. So I'm grateful that I was able to do that yesterday. So, chapter 11 of Ramona's World is the last chapter. The book is almost finished, which means we're all done with Ramona, which is going to be sad. But I'll keep reading to you on here. We'll find some other things to read. But it's called Birthday Girl. And we were trying to guess yesterday whose birthday it was going to be. So we'll read and we'll find out today. Spring finally came. Rain no longer fell every day. Lawnmowers whirred through the shaggy winter grass. People went to the park again. Everyone, especially Ramona, felt good. One evening late in May, the Quimby family was enjoying an unusually quiet dinner. The telephone did not ring. Roberta had been fed and, worn out from pulling herself to her feet by hanging onto chairs, was asleep. Beezus and her father were talking about something. Ramona wasn't paying attention because she was busy examining the new calluses beginning to form on the palms of her hands. The girls at school, those who enjoyed swinging on the rings, were once more comparing calluses. This thought gave Ramona an idea. You know what I would like to do on my birthday? She asked, and did not wait for an answer. Have a birthday party in the park. We can swing on the swings and skip playing pin the tail on the donkey and all those babyish games. I think we can manage that if Jesus will help with Roberta, agreed Mrs. Quimby, and added, if it doesn't rain. Sure, I'll help, said Beezus. The park is a good idea. That way the house doesn't get messed up. Although she knew what Beezus said was true, Ramona ignored her sister and said dreamily, just think, I'll be a teenager. Aren't you getting ahead of yourself? Asked Mr. Quimby. No, you won't, said Beezus. You'll be 10. That's a teenager, sort of, said Ramona. 0-teen. That's a double-digit number. Double-digit sounded serious and important. And next year I'll be 1-teen, and the year after that, 2-teen, then 13 and 14. Her family looked amused, but Ramona didn't care. She was too busy with her plans. And I don't want a birthday cake, she continued. I want a big bowl of whipped cream. Ramona liked thick, soft, fluffy whipped cream much more than she liked cake, which was sometimes dry with thin frosting. Think of the calories, said Mrs. Quimby, who thought a lot about calories since Roberta was born. And the cholesterol, said Mr. Quimby, who sometimes said he should begin to watch his diet. Whipped cream will make your face break out in spots, said Beezus, who spent a lot of time looking at herself in the mirror. Ramona considered all these worries ridiculous, so she ignored them. She leaned back in her chair, closed her eyes, and thought of a big bowl of whipped cream on a table in the park, surrounded by birthday presents, with the sun shining through the fir trees. But where would you put the candles? Asked Beezus. Ramona opened her eyes. She'd forgotten about the candles. Just stick them around in the whipped cream, was the best answer she could come up with. Of course, Beezus found something wrong with this. If you blow hard enough to blow out the candles, whipped cream will fly all over the place. Ramona was silent. She liked the picture of whipped cream flying across the table with her friends ducking and squealing. But then she wouldn't get to eat the whipped cream. Beezus was right, which Ramona found a tiny bit annoying. Mrs. Quimby, sensing trouble, quickly said I could bake a cake with whipped cream for frosting. Okay, said Ramona. Chocolate cake and thick whipped cream. That evening, she sat at the kitchen table to work on her guest list. 3 girls who were her good friends, 4 others who had invited Ramona to their birthday parties. She read her list to her mother. What about Susan? Asked Mrs. Quimby. You went to her birthday party. Ramona made a face. Yes, but I didn't have a good time. That has nothing to do with it, said Mrs. Quimby, and I think it's time you and Susan learned to get along. Reluctantly, in less than perfect cursive, Ramona added Susan's name to her list. She did try medium hard to get along with Susan, who always waved around her papers on which Mrs. Meacham had written excellent, good work, or prize speller at the top. She hoped Susan would not come. She did not want to hear her mother tell her to play nicely with Susan, or her father tell her to cut out this nonsense about Susan. As it turned out, everyone accepted, even Susan. When Ramona's birthday, the most important day of the year next to Christmas, finally came, the sky held only a few unimportant clouds. Ramona opened family presents at breakfast. After waffles served with blueberries, Ramona sang, Oh, frabjous day, callooh, callay, happy words from a book about a girl named Alice. Then the phone rang. Beezus got to it before Ramona. The call turned out to be from a neighbor who had an emergency and needed a babysitter right away. Please, please, Mom, can I take it? Beezus begged. These are the nice people who always have the right change. But this is Ramona's birthday, Mrs. Quimby reminded her. It's okay with me, said Ramona, who enjoyed having her mother to herself. Along with Roberta, of course, she also liked feeling she was being kind to Beezus. Please, Mom, begged Beezus. I don't want someone else to get their business. Mrs. Quimby, who was sliding layer cake pans into the oven, reluctantly agreed. Then telephone calls came from Ramona. Grandpa Dave from his mobile home park in California, where he was a table tennis champion. Aunt Bee and Uncle Hobart, all the way from Alaska, where Ramona pictured them surrounded by the seals and polar bears she had seen on TV. A lovely chocolate smell of baking cake filled the house, and the few clouds in the blue sky remained as fluffy as whipped cream. It was the beginning of a great day. Finally, Roberta was bathed and dressed in her red corduroy overalls. Ramona stuffed her into her little sweater and wondered if she would ever learn to hold her thumbs in so her hands would slip through the sleeves without a struggle. The cake was frosted with swirls of whipped cream, and the car was loaded with the picnic, along with Roberta in her car seat, her diaper bag, and her teddy bear. Ramona buckled her seatbelt in happy anticipation. Whew, said Mrs. Quimby as she turned the key in the ignition. We're on our way. Fortunately, the picnic table Ramona wanted, the one between the wading pool and the playground, was vacant. Mrs. Quimby lifted Roberta out, car seat and all, and set her on the grass where Ramona could keep an eye on her. Roberta waved her hands and feet, fussing, until Ramona released her, and holding her by the hands helped her walk on the grass. The teeter-totter thumped, rings clanged, little children in the wading pool splashed, tennis balls bounced. The great day was about to get better. There she is, walking with Roberta, and there are her friends arriving to the party. Ramona's guests, all of them carrying interesting packages, came running across the grass. Of course, Susan was among them, the only one wearing a dress instead of play clothes. Roberta, crawling fast, started toward the wading pool while the girls piled their presents on a bench. Ramona caught her and brought her back. Hello, girls, Mrs. Quimby called out as she laid out plastic forks and spoons on the checkered tablecloth and poured punch into paper cups. Without a word about happy birthday, the guests hovered over Roberta, cooing, squealing, and admiring. Look at her tiny fingers with those teeny-weeny fingernails. She's so sweet. I wish I had a baby sister. Look at her little teeth when she smiles. Smiling, Roberta crawled away. The girls caught her and brought her back. Roberta had invented a new game that the girls played, catching her and bringing her back. Ramona felt forgotten. She knew all about Roberta's tiny hands and feet. All babies had them. She knew about her teeth, too. She'd listened to Roberta fret and wiped up her drool when she was teething. She marveled at Roberta's growth, but not today. This was her birthday, her very own day, not Roberta's. Ramona sat beside her pile of presents and scowled. Ramona, whispered Mrs. Quimby as she dealt out tuna fish sandwiches and carrot sticks. Behave yourself. Smile. Ramona turned up the corners of her mouth, hardly a real smile. Roberta tired of excitement and began to fuss until Mrs. Quimby picked her up. Ramona's friends then remembered to say happy birthday as they gathered around to watch her open her presents. This is more like it, Ramona thought as she untied bows, read cards, and tore fancy wrappings off paperback books, hair bands, stationery, a big box of crayons, and a floppy stuffed frog, while her mother, with Roberta balanced on her hip, poked candles into the whipped cream frosting. Then, as the girls were eating their sandwiches and carrot sticks, one of them said, "Look, there's Danny!" Everyone looked up to see Yard Ape and two other boys climbing up the slides. Ramona knew they felt too old to slide down, so they had to show off by climbing up. "Ew, boys!" the girls squealed. On hearing this, a Yard Ape and his friends came running and whooping. Ramona's squealing guests all disappeared under the table, hidden by the tablecloth. Roberta howled. Mrs. Quimby tried to comfort her. She only cried louder, her face puckered, tears streaming down her face. "Yard Ape, you go away," ordered Ramona, annoyed at Yard Ape's taking away her birthday. "You're scaring my baby sister." The boys, still whooping, ran back to the playground. And we'll have to find out tomorrow how the birthday party ends and how the book ends. So I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.